important matter that is happening.
But some oil marketing companies aren't too happy with the requirements to enable one qualified to receive the fuel. They are worried that this might kick them out of business. Incidentally, civil society organizations seem to agree and believe the set conditions must be reviewed.
The Executive Secretary of the Institute of Energy Security is calling on government to rescind its decision to distribute the next consignment of petroleum products imported under the Gold for Oil policy to only OMCs with over 45 outlets across the country.
In fact, taken by MPA amount to selectiveness, and it has the potential to disturb the downstream petroleum sector in the sense that today we have a deregulated market where in terms of pricing, it is the market forces that dictates. These forces may include supply of the product, the demand of it, the pricing structure, access to the product, and others. We all agreed to deregulate the sector so that there will be fairness and there will also be efficiency in the sector. But the current decision taken by the MPA, if carried through, we believe will as a matter of fact, do away with the pricing and might not be seen to meddle in the selection of buyers of this program or in the determination of pricing.
Nana Moise VII further stated that the explanations given by the NPA boss for the criteria for the distribution of the next consignment of petroleum products imported under the policy is not sound.
The explanation holds no water because the OMCs with smaller number of outlets still serve Ghanaians. They don't serve Nigerians, they don't serve Togolese, they serve Ghanaians. And so if we attempt to give it to a few, or let me put it bluntly, to cronies and friends of government, what we are trying to do is we are setting a few against a larger group at a point. It may compel the others who don't have access to the product to cut prices just to be competitive. In that manner, in the long run, we are going to see losses in these companies, and at a point, they might be forced into collapse. And so the NPA should be fair to everybody and should make the product acceptable.
Still in the energy space, and I'm sure you've heard sometime last year that the government was going to remove the subsidy on residual fuel oil, which is critical to the operations of industries in the country. This removal meant manufacturers in the country would have to pay the full cost for their RFO. How has this move affected players in the textile industry? As the impact of inflation lingers, coupled with the recent hike in utility tariffs, players in the textile industry are lamenting the negative effect of the removal of the subsidy on residual fuel oil on the operations. The government had indicated that effective November 1, 2022, it had withdrawn the subsidy on RFO to ease the financial burden on the price stabilization and recovery account. The National Petroleum Authority justified the move, arguing that it was to ensure availability of Textiles Ghana Limited, Fatimata Doro, stated that this has significantly increased the cost of doing business for her outfit.
So we used to benefit of one subsidy mainly, which is the RFO, is a residual fuel that textile company mainly use, and it represents 60% of our COGS. And overnight, in a couple of weeks, we lost that 55% of subsidy. And representing 60% of our COGS, it means that if you really want to replicate that on the consumers or on the shopper, you have to increase pricing done more than 100%, which we couldn't do because we knew that we could have just closed down because they are facing challenges and they no longer have the revenue to cover for that subsidy. And also because the RFO is an imported product. When you looked at the Ghana economy, everything was around, do they have enough hard currency to import things? And I believe that they made a choice that they couldn't really finance the RFO anymore, and they would put the hard currency somewhere else. So the inability to pay the RFO on our behalf, on the 55%, made them remove the subsidy. But I mean, we all know it's been very difficult for the Ghana government, and they're trying to support as best as they can, but they can't.
Madame Dur added that even though she empathizes with the government, she believes efforts at creating a level playing field will help improve the fortunes of the sector despite the prevailing challenges.
I'm trying to put myself in the government's shoes, because running a country is like running almost a business. You need to generate revenue so that you can reinvest and generate profit. That's where we are. What is difficult for us to understand is the unfair competition. So if you are removing subsidy, you are putting extra taxes, make the competition fair. But when I'm competing against copies in the market that do not really pay their full taxes, then it's a lost battle. When I increase pricing because of the economic situation and they're still selling at the same price, then my cost is going up and I'm competing against other brands that are no longer changing and are 50% cheaper than me. While our brand is a brand that is creating employment, because, like you said, Textile Ghana, GTP, has been one of the more oldest company in Ghana. And we used to have more than 10 textile companies in the past in Ghana. Most of them closed down. Why? Because policies were not in their favor. Maybe also because copies were really stronger and better and have easier facility to copy our design and come and sell it, and even copying our label now. You go in the market, you will see GTP logo on the fabric. You will see the name of our product. You will think that it's a GTP, but it's not a GTP.
Let's stay with the manufacturing sector, because the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has raised concerns over the impact of the domestic debt exchange program on the private sector and the wider economy. Although the Ghana Financial Stability Fund is being set up for the financial sector, the chamber believes
help it restore macroeconomic stability. This will include bringing public debt down to more manageable levels from the current estimated 105% of GDP to 55% in present value terms by 2028. The IMF assistance, which is yet to be approved by the fund's executive board, is conditional on Ghana restructuring its public debt, both domestic and external. As a first step of the debt restructuring, government announced a voluntary domestic debt exchange program in early December 2022. The program, though important, will affect many sectors of the economy. Despite acknowledging the program's importance, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GNCCI, has expressed concern of the impact of the program on the private sector. Clement Osei-Marku spoke to the by the chamber in Accra.
The meeting that we had today had to look at the issues of how do we fit into that situation. What are the consequences of the debt sustainability? The consequence for that matter is difficult, but then we are asking ourselves as Ghanaians to hold the fort and try as much as possible to work within. So we are asking government that government should, once it's leading in this debt sustainability, must also not lose the fact that they should not be overborrowing from the Bank of Ghana to crowd out the private sector. Now interest rate is moving. How would the individual and, for that matter, a manufacturing company survive in this era? We have inflation also moving up and all those things. But notwithstanding that, we think that there are some windows that we have to look at and address them and keep our members strong to try and work hard, break even, and even if they can make some small profit, we have to look at it.
For economist Professor Peter Quartey, recovery is possible.
Economic growth is expected to be low in 2023, but will pick up from 2024 if and only if we sign on successfully to the IMF program, if we restore macro stability, growth will pick up. Because I'm confident that given how growth picked up post-COVID, it was very dramatic. It tells you that Ghanaians are enterprising. We are hardworking people. If we have the right environment, we will flourish. So I am hopeful that if we restore macro stability, we achieve fiscal consolidation and cut out waste. If we take out waste. But if people some tighten their belt and others losing their belt, then it might be a problem. So we expect this to happen. 2023 budget have signaled some cuts. Whether that is significant or not, we are yet to determine. But I think we need to do more. And then we want to see more of that so that we show to the world that, yes, we are indeed in crisis, but we are willing to come out of the crisis quickly as possible. And then we invest in productive sectors because there will be savings. All these interest payments that government is not going to pay is savings for us.
The average prices of goods and services received by domestic producers for the production activities for January 2023 fell marginally to 52.1% from the 52.2% recorded in December last year. This is according to recent data from the Ghana Statistical Service. But what does this slight reduction mean for producers in the country?
Per the latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service, this rate indicates that between January 2022 and January 2023, the PPI increased by 52.1%, representing a 0.1 percentage point decrease in producer inflation relative to the rate recorded in December 2022, that is 52.2%. The month-on-month change in the PPI between December 2022 and January 2023 was 0.9%. It also notes that the mining and quarry, transport and storage, manufacturing sectors, which recorded rates of 68.2%, 62.6%, all above the national average, while information and communication activities recorded the lowest rate of 1.2% in January 2023. For the manufacturing subsector, the PPI decreased by 11.0 percentage points to 53.3% in January 2023. 10 of the 23 major groups in the manufacturing subsector recorded inflation rate higher than the sector average of 53.3%. The rate in the construction sector decreased to 20.4%. In December 2022 to 9.5% in January 2023.
You know, most of Ghana's cocoa is sold on the international market. The more reason why we should be concerned as a country about the international community's concerns about child labor in the supply chain. The Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations thinks that the challenge can be addressed by offering competitive prices for our cocoa beans.
Cocoa is the chief agricultural export of Ghana. The country prides itself as the second largest cocoa exporter in the world after Ivory Coast. Ghana's cocoa cultivation, however, is noted within the developing world to be one of the most modeled commodities and valuables. Al Jazeera in its report stated that the use of child labor has risen in cocoa farms in Ghana during the past decade, despite industry promises to reduce it. But the Ghana Cocoa Board says its fact-finding mission following a report of a child labor on cocoa farms in the Menfi West municipality of the Western region shows that the Al Jazeera report was a staged, managed act addressing delegates from the International Labour Organization who paid a courtesy call on him. The sector minister, Bafuo Iwa, attributed the narrative of child labor to the poor conditions of local farmers and called on the international market to offer a suitable price for cocoa beans.
Studies upon studies have also shown that the few parents who for some reason will want to engage their children in a day or two on their farms do so because of economic hardships. And I have always said this, that do we get fair value when it comes to our bargaining or for the price of our commodities which are sold on the international market? Perhaps we may have to look at that. Quite often, I have heard this argument that the world price of cocoa has fallen. But I'm happy most of you are coming from Geneva, the headquarters of ILO. It is a known depot of chocolate producing country. I've never seen and I've never heard that the price of chocolate on the shelf has ever reduced. No matter how much the world price goes down. So who then package the margin? So those persons who package the margin should also be responsible in making sure that farmers have the fair value of the product. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is that the elimination of child labor from cocoa countries, as well as perhaps other industry players who are also in the fold. And I must concede that we have achieved whatever we have achieved through our collaboration with them. So, Director General, maybe I will pause here and in our further deliberation and during question times, if there are any other issues, I will add to that. But to conclude, let me say that we are very grateful for your visit and we wish you well in your stay. Thank you.
With all the challenges with the country's economy, now is the time to ensure they play their part to ensure food security in the country.
Agriculture has over the years been the backbone of Ghana's economy. With the changing scenes of the world, players within the sector are being challenged to optimize the agricultural industry. Speaking at the MEDA Roundtable discussion in Accra, the director of the Agribusiness Unit at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture called for a deepened collaboration between the public and private sector to harness the growth of Ghana's economy.
The food crops module, focusing on subsidizing improved inputs, that's fertilizer and improved seeds, to promote adoption and increase productivity of farmers. The tree crops module, involving promotion of 6 selected crops: oil palm, rubber, coconut, cashew, mango, and shea, for diversification of export earnings and farm incomes. The horticulture module, aimed at increasing production of vegetables in greenhouses, targeted at youth employment. The livestock module, aimed at increasing domestic production of meat and reducing protein imports. And the mechanization module, aimed at modernizing agriculture and increasing efficiency along the agricultural value chain.
On her part, the acting Canadian High Commissioner to Ghana, Caitlin Flynn, pledged the Commission's continued support for women in the sector.
Canada has supported MEDA's efforts in Ghana to reduce poverty, increase food security, and enhance women's economic empowerment through a number of projects since 2012, including Greater Rural Opportunities for Women project, which completed phase 1 and now is in its phase 2, and the Farmers' Economic Advancement through Seedlings. These initiatives have yielded remarkable results in supporting women smallholder farmers and businesses, in particular to increase production, incomes, and livelihoods, especially in northern Ghana. But I think it's important that we talk today about how to work differently, how to innovate, how to engage diverse partnerships, and how to reach the furthest behind. Our support for the agriculture sector in Ghana is in line with our feminist international assistance policy and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 5 on gender equality. Through our partnership with the Government of Ghana and organizations like MEDA, we are witnessing increased empowerment and self-reliance among women in the agriculture sector.
Forge a cross-sectorial policy implementation drive to harness growth.
Agriculture is not just the domain of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Agriculture is a domain, it's called sectorial. You can't just say it's just agriculture. There's health, there's trade, there's finance. Unless there's a coordination among all the various ministries that have a role to play, policies will never work. If, for example, we are talking about import substitution, for example, there's the Ministry of Trade. There are WTO rules you've got to abide with. There are phytosanitary issues you've got to abide with GSA. If it's food, Ministry of Health, FDA comes in. So it depends on what the issues are. You have to distill the issue, look at what are the relevant agencies you need that can play a role in addressing, because policy is supposed to address an issue. So what are the relevant industries? But if we keep it at this just pure agriculture, take roads, for example. Road falls in the domain of the Ministry of Transport. So how can you promote agricultural, you want to create an agricultural enclave somewhere, and you don't talk to the Ministry of Roads and Transport? How do you get roads?
Of the country's agricultural sector would see an uplift if the right strategies and policies are duly executed.
The reason I'm optimistic is that we've seen lots of other countries do it. And even in Ghana, once upon a time, we put so much energy around cocoa, and look at where it took us. So we can achieve a lot in 20 years. So I don't think you should be pessimistic. We should be pessimistic, however, if we don't have the vision or we don't have the knowledge or the skills, that's not our problem. The issues that are our problems are fixable. So that's why I'm optimistic.
Is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, Pamini, bank and I'm an Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
It's City on the Go. You don't have to miss any of your favorite television and radio shows on City TV and City FM. Enjoy thrilling content from your world of great television and relevant radio at your convenience. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube, turn on your notification button, and receive prompts on our live stream YouTube page. Scan the QR code on your screens, subscribe to the CityTube page, and voila! Unlimited content awaits you. Don't forget to subscribe to CityTube for amazing content from City TV and City FM.
We focus now on the poultry industry, and poultry farmers in the northern region will soon heave a sigh of relief as the Savannah Zone Agricultural Productivity Improvement Project is set to establish a soybean processing plant in the region to process poultry feed. This is made possible under a new project known as the Savannah Agricultural Value Chain Development Project. The initiative is part of efforts to upscale the production of maize, rice and soybeans in the Savannah Ecological Zone.
Poultry farmers in the northern region have over the years been depending on external producers for feed for their birds. However, with the increasing cost of production leading to high cost of feed, the effect has been profound. Currently, the northern region produces huge tons of grains used for feed production. However, due to the absence of feed processing plants, the raw materials are transported to other regions for processing to be done and later brought back at higher prices.
The fact that we produce a lot of soya in the northern region here, if the machine is here or the plant is here to process it, definitely the price will go down for us. And when the prices of soya is down, then we then be thinking of the price of maize also coming down. And when that happens, look, we can produce for the ordinary Ghanaian to also be able to afford it.
For the past 5 years, the Savannah Zone Agricultural Productivity Improvement Project and SIP, in collaboration with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the project has so far supported over 200 commercial and smallholder farmers. In order to build on its successes, the SAPIP-SIP project has secured a grant of $28 million from the African Development Bank to replicate and upscale the SAPIP-SIP intervention under a new project. Here is the project coordinator, Felix Dramani, speaking on the Savannah Agricultural Value Chain Development Project.
They are very much related projects. As we speak, land development, SAPIP-SIP is done. We don't have resources. But this project is adding some more resources for more land development to be done. And that's why we said it is 8,000 hectares that is to be developed. 2,000 for rice, 3,000 for maize, and 3,000 for soya. 8,000 is just a drop in an ocean. But that is what is currently available. So we have to start with this. The successes will tell its own story and further investment will come.
As part of the project, a soybean processing plant will be constructed in the northern region to serve poultry farmers.
If you realize that soya is greatly produced here, why do you have to take it down there for them to process and bring it back for you to produce your poultry? So why don't we establish it here so that at least the raw material is very close. They can mop up, process, and support their own and support the poultry producers.
Completing that plan.
The soya plant, I think I should give in 2 years. I said 2 years because you have to get all the specifications. We have to identify a private sector person. This government has no business manning it. So the idea is to advertise, get the private sector interested. We get the specifications, we order it. We have to advertise, and with the projects, everything has to be competitive. We advertise in the papers, people bid to supply. Where they've given some specifications, but these specifications are just from the technical people. We need to engage the private sector who are interested in managing it to see whether the specs actually meet what their dreams are.
A chief agricultural policy economist with the African Development Bank, Philip Boahin, says the bank is committed to ensuring food security in Africa.
It's an apology to import food in excess of $50 billion annually when we have potential to grow our own food to eat. And so this is not even the last of it. There will be more similar investment to provide that additional support to government to ensure that we're able to feed ourselves. Our view is that Ghanaians should feed Ghanaians. Africans should feed Africans. And that is our commitment and objective.
For persons into the issuance of fake motor insurance to drivers and other vehicle owners, your days are numbered, because officials of the National Insurance Commission have intensified surveillance and are collaborating with law enforcement agencies to track and arrest culprits. The Commission, with support from the Motor Transport and Traffic Department of the Ghana Police Service, is currently embarking on an exercise to check the validity of motor insurance policies by vehicle owners. So, beware.
5 vehicle owners were recently arrested for using fake insurance policies. 2 of the drivers are currently facing charges in court, and 1 other was fined while another driver has absconded. The arrest of these vehicle owners has led to the arrest of a suspect who produces fake motor insurance for vehicle owners. Ashanti Regional Manager of the National Insurance Commission, Dennis Farouk Dramani, indicates the Commission is on high alert to get persons
who produces the fake insurances at the DVLA premises in Kumasi were able to lay surveillance on the person and got the person arrested on the 27th of January, and the person is also currently facing the law courts. And when we arrested the person, truly when we did a search, we found a couple of fake insurances in the back of that particular culprit. And so when we are doing this kind of exercise, these are the people we are looking for. It is not the drivers, but the persons who are on the ground producing the fake insurance and giving to the drivers are our target. And thank God that we were able to get that person arrested at the DVLA.
Officers of the Commission and the Police MTTD have started enforcement in parts of the Ashanti region and are using the motor insurance database system to check the validity of the policy. The Commission has warned it will ensure that the laws deal with producers of fake motor insurance policies.
Because of the motor insurance database, there is no way somebody can be holding a fake insurance and will not be caught. You can do the insurance in Kumasi or Accra, but you will drive to Tamale and the police in Tamale will get you, or the insurance office in Tamale will get you, or you can go to Bolga or Paga or anywhere in the country, because we have trained the police in such a way that every vehicle that they stop, one of the first things they have to do is to check the authenticity. The vehicle at another place and you will not be caught. Now to the producers of the fake insurances, a word to the wise is enough, because you better stop before the law catches up on you. If the law catches up on you, I am not a judge, but I tell you, I can give you a lot of evidence of several people that have actually been jailed. Who are into it, they should better stop before the law will catch up on them.
Drivers who have not insured their vehicles or had the policy expired are made to do it instantly. This driver, however, raised some concerns about the general insurance policy.
30 years, onji claim biya, on for claim biamba. I also am on incentive biya then count. But nipa no a friends expire for a day kekea. Now the person is being treated as a criminal. It's not nice. For now, me just you know. A lawyer is not involved, but when I want to do a claim, I have to involve a lawyer. Now, see the office now 4th floor. Open until do now collaborate. You are not going to pursue it again. And nice, it should be a win-win situation.
Both commercial and private vehicle owners are required by law to insure their vehicles with certified and recognized insurance companies before driving on the road.
Over the weekend, neighboring Nigeria went to the polls, and Nigerian traders in Ghana are expecting the winner of Saturday's elections to collaborate more with the Ghana government for a lasting solution to the trade disputes that has persisted between members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association and their Nigerian counterparts, especially in the retail space.
Christian George hails from Enugu State in Nigeria and has lived in Ghana for 6 years. Issues ranging from insecurity, corruption, and the recent cash struggle in his home country are getting him worried every day.
So many things have occurred in Nigeria now. Nigeria is a big country, so full of population. So many people there, so different news, good one, bad one. Yeah, so I've heard good ones, I've heard bad ones. Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
The good one makes me feel relief, but the bad one makes me feel terrified. So yeah, just thinking about it.
What are some of the bad things you hear?
The short of currency, something like that. Yeah, it's not good to hear. Yeah.
George and other young Nigerians living in Ghana have high expectations ahead of the upcoming elections in their country. They want a new leader who will emerge victorious in the polls to tackle insecurity in Nigeria head-on.
Firstly, I wanted to stop the corruption going on in Nigeria. Especially, like I said, the Boko Harams. That's the first thing I wanted to stop. Then secondly, the issue of the light. Sometimes we don't have stability of light, we don't have light. To make everything right this time. But firstly, I wanted to stop the corruption going on in Nigeria, like the Boko Harams, the killing, all this was going on in Nigeria. So I wanted to stop it first.
Based on the killings of people, the killing of innocent people, that one needs to stop. You need to stop because last year the killing was too much. That was in Enugu State, where I come from. The killing there is too much. So we are praying that by God's grace, if P2B win the election, that we do something about it.
Ghana is described as a peaceful country for the Nigerian community who find the business atmosphere are not uncommon between Nigerian traders and their Ghanaian counterparts who have constantly accused them of breaching trade laws in Ghana. The Nigerian Trade Union in Ghana also expects the winner of Saturday's elections to help find a lasting solution to this recurring matter.
We want to see a president who will hear our cry. We have suffered a lot here in Ghana, honestly speaking. We have gone through a lot, at least at the hand of Ghana Union of. We are solving the problems small now, but we are looking up for a president, a government who will come in and have a very big interest in our problem here in Ghana and solve it once and for all.
Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Traders Association Ghana, Chief Kizito Obiora, says most of their members are traveling back home to cast their votes.
All of us, in fact, a lot of people have traveled. A lot of our members have traveled. We advise all our members, all Nigerian community here in Ghana, to have their PVC. Me to have my own PVC, but only I'm not feeling well now. That's why I didn't travel. If not, I'm supposed to be in Nigeria by now.
With few hours to go, the Nigerian voters will decide who is best to lead the oil-rich country.
If you're a player in the cybersecurity,
Security Authority has outlined new regulations for the industry, stating that foreign cybersecurity service providers must partner with local companies in order to operate in Ghana. These regulations, which are in accordance with the Cybersecurity Act 2020 Act 1038, also include the licensing of cybersecurity service providers and practitioners. The Director General of the authority, Dr. Albert Ntwibu-Usuakun, speaking during the launch of cybersecurity solutions and service offerings by Virtual InfoSec Africa, a Ghanaian-owned company in partnership with Logarithm, a world leader in next-gen SIM, expressed hope that these measures would boost Ghana's cybersecurity industry.
I think it's fair that as we regulate, we have visibility of the services, the people, not just the technical competency, but the integrity that is so required to be a cybersecurity professional. But it's impressive to see that international partners, international providers are partnered with domestic providers because that is what the law requires. The framework which will be launched from the first provider like Logarithm, you have to either register as a business in Ghana or you partner with a licensed cybersecurity service provider. I think you've been very proactive because you've already gotten a partner here. Nothing will prevent you from exercising your profession because you've partnered with a local Ghanaian cybersecurity ecosystem. We want to develop this industry and not just services, but we want to develop a robust cybersecurity ecosystem for the Republic. And I think across the world it's only Singapore which has also introduced licensing of cybersecurity service providers. I do encourage you, industry, to support this process.
Meanwhile, the CEO of Virtual InfoSec Africa, Emmanuel Setre Asiedu, commended the Cybersecurity Authority for its initiative to improve the cybersecurity landscape in the country, stating that it would help to position Ghanaians as leaders in the industry.
I think I highly recommend the regulator led by Dr. Albert Ntwibu-Usuakun. I think he's a smart man and he understands that the future of this space has to be built by Ghanaians, even if we have partners. So as he heard him, he said, look, even if a foreign company has to come, he must partner a Ghanaian company. And this is what, as a country, we must all learn from. You know, we created so many wealth and opportunities for foreigners, and that we Ghanaians are not benefiting. So I think we should all commend the Director General for Cybersecurity, Ghana Cybersecurity Authority, for his vision. And we are ready for it. As a law-abiding company, whatever regulator stays will be. And we are there to support the regulator in terms of contribution to make our country a better place for all of us.
If you're looking for a way to send money without any transaction fees, I've got news for you because an international money transfer company, TapTapSend, has launched its operations in Ghana to make money transfer more convenient, fast and safe for Ghanaians. Management of TapTapSend says there are no service charges on any transfers made, making it by far one of the cheapest ways of sending money in Ghana.
TapTapSend, a multinational corporation with decades of experience in over 30 countries, has begun its operations in Ghana with the goal of giving Ghanaians a simpler and cheaper alternative of transferring cash. What makes TapTapSend remarkable is the fact that the company takes zero charges on all transactions, making it the cheapest means of sending money in Ghana. Speaking at the launch of the TapTapSend call center in Accra on Wednesday, Marcin Kropchak, who is the Global Director Customer Service of TapTapSend, said using their app to transfer cash is convenient, safe and fast.
What is very interesting for TapTap is that one of the few companies in the markets that actually have no fees for money transfers. So it's actually very useful for our customers and very beneficial for customers as well. So we make our business, but the secret sauce is actually very simple. So we do our business in the smart way, which basically means that we're not wasting money on very expensive marketing. Also very important for us, but also I would say one of the most important things about TapTap is that the company itself has been created basically by immigration communities. So I would say 95% of my colleagues, and including myself, we are immigrants. We are not born in the countries where we live right now, and actually that helps us to understand the struggle and navigate the product in a way that is simple and inexpensive.
On his part, the Chief Operating Officer of E-Services Africa Limited, a local partner of TapTap Send, Emmanuel Rekwano, says they have a formidable team of experts to deliver excellent services for Ghanaians.
You have very dedicated and very highly trained professionals here who guide them through the usage of the app. You realize that this TapTap Send app is actually one way, which means that we in this part of the world, we receive. So people who actually have the app are outside the jurisdiction. So Asia, America, the European Union, and the UK. Okay, so when they have any issues with the app, they want to find out how much will be deducted or charged for sending monies and stuff like that. They reach out to us and then we deliver. People are in love with the app, just like the name sounds, TapTap Send. It's very easy to use it for most people because it's a couple of clicks away and then you're able to send money to your loved ones and relatives. It's available on Google. When you go to Play Store or Apple Store, you get it there. You can just by a click of a button, you get the app. And it's an easy setup as well. As we speak, we have 29. So we started with 14, added 15 more, and it looks like by the end of the year we should be hitting 100. Okay. You have very dedicated and very highly trained professionals here who guide them through the usage of the app. You realize that this TapTap Send app is actually one way, which means people who actually have the app are outside the jurisdiction. So Asia, America, the European Union, and the UK.
Well, that will be all for today's edition of the Business Weekly Show here on City TV, your most watched business show in the country. My name is Michael Obodu. Let's connect on Twitter at @mobodu. Catch you same time next week. Stay safe, stay informed, and bye-bye. Oh, one more thing. Keep watching City TV.
Is this Nani floor? Yes. What is it with pig feet?
No. Ghana is a country that's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage without soul food? And what is soul food without a touch of ethnicity? And what is ethnicity if it's not from? And we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Come, let's treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, the middle, and the southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity. While at it, we'll be jamming to genuine Ghanaian music amidst games, competitions, storytelling, and so much more. Interested vendors of indigenous foods are invited to register. Don't let this be another missed opportunity. Call 0205-973-973 to book a stand and be part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar 2023. Anyamime, the country make hot too. So come, let's enjoy some good food, resounding music, heartfelt camaraderie, and remind ourselves why Ghana is still our home at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar on the 25th and the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the AMA from 8 to Your Village Food. And is sponsored by Voltic Ghana Limited and Malta Guinness.
City TV is live On DSTV, go to channel 363. On GoTV, access City TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. City TV, it's your world.
Imagine if you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on City TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on City TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Class Act is proudly sponsored by Vodafone Ghana Foundation as part of the Kindred Partners. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks and tune in to Class Act. Only on City TV. The Heritage Caravan 2023 is officially sold out. Get ready for 7 exciting days of adventure through 14 incredible regions of Ghana with a exhilarating filled days with nature. Prepare for 7 amazing days of a road trip filled with the sights, sounds, and the aura of a diversified people. Get ready because we are going on the expedition of a lifetime to discover Ghana from the 4th to the 11th of March on the Heritage Caravan 2023. Pack your bags and let's set off on this spectacular tour from Greater Accra through to the Volta region, through to Eastern region, Ashanti region, Northwestern region and the Central region of Ghana. A journey full of fun, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments await you on the Heritage Caravan 2023. The Heritage Caravan 2023 is powered by City TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority, with support from City FM and proudly sponsored by Holak Ghana, the European Union, Malta Guinness, Ebony Condoms, Royal Company Limited, National Lotteries Authority, Baltic Mineral Water, and Colgate Natural Extracts.
Regardless of what your point of view may be, he holds a mirror for you to see the reflection of reality.
2 young men, brilliant student, best student in his school. He says, I believe in this as my identity, my religion. You say no. You won't take him because it breaks discipline. I think we should not be at the wrong side of history.
Dispassionate opinions that shape your point of view.
As for the president's credibility in terms of anti-corruption, I'm afraid to say he's in tatters.
An analytical and non-partisan
I'll give you a
point
proverb,
of view.
and I can proverb. So Patrick Kwaso be mount ma, heading.
This year, forget it. Dialogue that informs your socio-political point of view.
I'm young enough to wait for God's opportunity tomorrow, and I'm not in a...
Are you lacing your boots for 2024?
Absolutely not.
They are not lacing. What time you see the shoe I've been wearing? What are they having boots? No, it's not Kambu.
A chance for the duty bearers to provide the citizens with an honest point of view.
We are being given rare and privileged access to a building which is part of the National Operations Directorate.
And we are so determined, to fight all manner of crime. Even the broad daylight robberies that we've seen and the footage seen, we can say that we are going all out, to make sure that we contain them.
Educative chit chat from the expert's point of view.
No, there is. In fact, that rumor has been said about so many vaccines. People said the tetanus vaccine causes infertility, and we are trying to make our women infertile. No, it's not true.
On the Point of View with Bernard Avle, every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.
Hello, welcome to Footprints. My name is Samuel Atta. Zap Mallet.
Born on May 23, 1964 in Accra, Ghana, veteran recording engineer Emmanuel Mallet, popularly known as Zap Mallet, had his secondary education at Accra Academy and continued to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for his tertiary education. Zap Mallet has recorded hit songs of many artists in Ghana, including Lord Kenya, Reggie Rockstone, Praye, and many others. Our guest, Emmanuel Mallet, tells his story on Footprints now.
Creamy Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
The FDA.
Welcome back. Now you know who we are talking about. Zap Mallet. Zap, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm very happy to be here.
The first time I heard the name Zap, it was you, and I haven't heard anybody else called Zap.
But you know Zap now. You know the name Zap now.
Yeah, I know.
Not my name, but the word.
Well, yeah.
It's an American word.
But how did you come by this name, Zap?
Well,
yeah, I mean, look, Ghanaian, born in Ghana, schooled in Ghana. You should have a name like Ezekiel.
Isaac,
Melchizedek.
Yeah, actually, my name is actually Emmanuel. I have one of those names.
Okay, go. Now we are coming home.
Yes. My real name is actually Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
I was born Emmanuel.
Oh, okay.
Yes, on the streets of Asylum Down, Odanta Street, by the roundabout. Yes, Asylum Down.
So Emmanuel
Mallet. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a middle name, but
no.
That we'll put out for later, maybe. Well, yeah. So Zap came out of school actually,
right?
And you know, back in those days. Enthusiastic about music, so passionate. And there was this group back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. They were called the Zap Band.
Oh, Zap Band, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
now it rings a bell. I remember.
Funk,
exactly.
Yeah,
and they were made of four brothers, the Troutman brothers. One of them happened to be Zap himself, but he wasn't the leader. The leader was Roger Troutman, and they fell out, had issues, and they killed each other actually. So it was, and they had this special style of funk by those days, by those standards, by those times. It was something else. their music sounded very different because they had this clap, this hard pulsating beat to their music, which sounded very different from what everybody else was doing at that time. Even though it was the same thing, but this sounded different to me, and I just loved them. I just fell in love with them. I would listen to every song that they came up with every year, and you know, all of a sudden I just picked out the name as a little boy. You know, growing up, I just picked out the name Zap. So everybody called me Zap, and the name was Zap.
It became your name.
Yeah, it became my name. Exactly.
Interesting. So you born in Asylum Down.
Asylum Down, yes.
How did school? Early school?
Yeah, school. I went to Agri Memorial Preparatory School. It's a school just by the Broadcasting House. Just
okay.
Here. Yes, just by they share a wall with the Broadcasting House. So I remember those days when the coups usually happened. When every time there was a coup, we had to stay out of school.
Oh yeah.
Because we shared a wall with GBC, and all the time the soldiers were there. So when every time was a coup, then we had to stay out of school.
And we were harvesting coups back in the day.
You understand what I mean? But then so after a while, after school, after there, I went to Accra Academy.
Yeah.
Went to Accra Academy. Then from there, I went to KNUST.
Now, stop right there. Now, which years were you in Accra Academy?
1975 to 1982.
Okay.
Yeah, back in those days.
Oh.
I went to school very early.
From 1 to upper 6?
Yes, I went to school very early.
Wow.
Pure breed.
Bele Obi.
Remember
pure. The anthem?
You know what, Samis? The anthem is one thing I've never been able to bring myself to sing in Accra.
A musician?
I don't know
of
why.
Your type?
It's amazing to me myself.
People, please, you have to pause.
But getting it to do you know when I started singing the Ghana National Anthem?
I wouldn't know.
Not too long ago.
Really?
So with lyrics and things, maybe sometimes it happens.
Your mind was too preoccupied with
creation,
elements
creating different elements. You don't even bother about sometimes.
The lyrics.
It's just one of those things. Yeah.
Must be all I hear is Bleo Aka.
That's the most interesting part, the most entertaining and the most exciting part. You know.
Wow.
But
experiences in Accra Academy then.
Yeah, I told you.
Were you an athlete?
Yes, at a point I was an athlete. I played volleyball, and I remember one volleyball session.
Of course.
Every sports teacher is tall back in those days, and we are going to have a tournament, so we needed to do training, and we're training, and this man asked me to spike a basketball as training.
Yeah.
I should jump and spike a basketball across the net.
Not volleyball, but
not
basketball,
basketball. You look at the weight difference. And I did this thing for hours, and at the point, I think my shoulder got dislocated. It was so painful. You know, so I couldn't even continue with the tournament. I couldn't even go to the tournament because I was so injured. I couldn't even, and I was like, what was happening? Like, you know, but yes.
But tell me, who was the headmaster in your days?
Atorkine. Jacob Okai.
The famous Atorkine.
The famous Atorkine, the mathematician.
Wow.
You know,
I remember some of his famous statements and.
One statement that he made, which I'll never forget. You know, those days, boarding house. Yeah. Boarding house was. When anytime we went for lunch or we went for dinner, we went for dining, sometimes we don't get satisfied. You know, back in those days, food wasn't too, you know. So we wouldn't get satisfied. So we kept complaining. And then one thing he kept saying at assembly, he said, look, the food you're eating at dining is not supposed to make you full. It's supposed to keep body and soul together. I've never forgotten that body and soul.
Just to keep body and soul together.
Just to keep body and soul together. So you are not supposed to just eat and be sleeping in class and walking about and going up and down the restroom right by heart. You are supposed to keep body and soul intact. You know. So those are.
Popular chaplain. He also had a gun name. Also.
Yes. He came a bit later.
Okay.
When I was about to leave.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was quite popular and quite notorious, very obnoxious in the school. I remember at a point he was in a dining hall one evening, and I remember I was there. He was in the dining hall speaking, giving an announcement. and one student was outside. The late students to dining were locked outside, and one guy was standing outside, and the guy just shouted, "Buy you more," to a teacher, and we couldn't find the guy. Up to now, we don't still know who did it. You know, so that's the experience. And in boys' school, it was a boys' school. You know?
Of course.
So you can imagine all the nasty and funny things we did.
You had people like Reverend Eric Kwapon.
Yes. Eric Kwapon was just a year ahead of me. Yes. Reverend Cephas.
Yes.
Was
Cephas your mate?
Cephas was my mate.
What kind of student was this one, man?
Cephas was very quiet. He wouldn't talk. He wouldn't get into trouble.
Cephas was not talking at some point. This is breaking news.
Oh, yes. You won't get him throwing up and words. He would be talking about the Bible, about Christianity and stuff, but you won't get him in a confrontation. He was quite on his game.
Cephas Amate, Reverend Eric Kwapon. Some of the names you remember some?
I'm sure if you mention them, you'll just off the top of my head.
Okay, I wasn't there, man.
Yeah. I know. If you mention off the top of my head, but
okay,
yeah, but we're quite
nice. That comes to mind. While in secondary school, were you involved in any form of?
I was in a school band, of course.
Oh, you had school band?
Yes.
In Accra Academy.
Back then, it wasn't as flamboyant as it is today, because even then we didn't have instruments.
Oh, you didn't have?
We didn't have. We
Nabu
sound. And you see, sometimes it's amazing. We do that, but when we get the instruments, sometimes it's amazing what we put up.
Wow.
We do that. So we for instance, I was playing drums. I started playing drums for the school. Wow. So I was a drum player, and we played on trunks and tables.
Thank you.
That was how we don't just carve some sticks.
Yeah.
Come and sit down, and then the band is going. The band, the guitarist gets an acoustic guitar. The bassist is using an acoustic guitar. Everybody's using an acoustic guitar. And the drummer is using a trunk or tables and chairs. But we get it going. We did that a few times, and we performed at Pop Change. You remember the Pop Change days? Yes. And we got quite far. It was very interesting. You know, today it's a different story. Yeah. They have everything at their disposal.
Yeah, and yet they play nothing, man.
Yeah, back then even guitars were not even available. You remember? You know, we had some Russian guitars, and when you pick them, you know that you pick
an carrying weight.
You pick the weapon. The IGP could fire you for holding that guitar. I'm telling you. So
apologies to that parent.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So you know. Anyway, trying to get things to work.
Good. Even were you involved in any singing yourself, like in Takor and all these?
Yeah, as for in Takor, they were the cheerleading.
Well, I'm standing on something.
Man. But in Takor thing, we were the ones who were lifting the songs.
Most of your songs were gun songs.
Gun songs and profane songs.
Profane songs.
I
can't even figure it out. Zap Mallet singing profane songs.
But Zap Mallet was about 16 years at that time. I went to school very early, Shames. By 11, I was in Form 1.
Ooh,
I hadn't even hit puberty when I went to Form 1. Wow. So you can imagine, a little boy, but I was tall anyway, so people mistook me for a bigger guy, but I was actually a small boy.
Wow.
I was taller than most of my mates. So they picked on me, and I was bullied.
Yeah.
Both by seniors and by my mates, because I was as at the time, Shames, I went to school, I was the youngest person in Accra Academy.
Wow.
I was the youngest man or the youngest boy in Accra Academy. So you can imagine, people were picking on me, but you see, then I didn't take it as bullying.
Yeah, it was part of the culture.
Yeah, I just felt like it was part of the culture. It's an only hour, that kind of behavior. And today, recently, I heard some boy bent some boarding house dormitory at Accra Academy, and I asked the reason. He said he couldn't stay in the boarding, and I'm like, if you could at 15 years, you can't stay. What about me at 11 years? When I was 11 years, I could have bent the whole school, but it won't strike me. It won't hit me. at that time.
But it all
what
depends
is happening
on
today?
your upbringing and
So what is
your
happening?
exposure.
What is happening today, Samuel?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I mean, people are exposed differently.
Oh,
and,
come
you
on,
know,
please. We are letting loose of some things. We
I
have
mean,
to be careful.
parenting.
We have to be careful. We have to get hold of the society properly because the society is getting out of our hands.
Well,
it is.
You're right. I mean, the element of discipline or indiscipline.
But I just took it as today. I'm calling them bullying because of the narrative around. Yes, but to me back then, no, I didn't.
We saw it as part of the school
yes,
life.
as part of.
That's true.
And you could be laughed at or you could be teased if you are not forthcoming or if you are not.
That's true.
You don't have fortitude, that kind of thing. So it didn't strike me as somebody bullying me, but I rather stood my ground. And whenever I had to not allow somebody to bully me, I did it. I stood my ground. And sometimes you just have to allow because the person is bigger than you, older than you. Maybe you could make your living in the school very miserable. So sometimes you just have to allow it.
Now tell me, so from Accra Academy, you continue to KNUST. Which year would that be?
KNUST 1985.
85.
KNUST.
So the tough days.
Yeah. The Orleans Revolution days. Yeah. I remember. We even sat at home for a whole year because of an aluta we had. Yes, we sat down at home for a whole year.
That was before you entered, right?
No, I was there.
Oh, when you
I think it was my first year.
Okay.
My first year. Yeah, we sat down for a whole year. I think there was an aluta.
Then.
KNUST. It's always been airy, tree, a lot of trees, vegetation, and
social life.
Social life. Everybody was into the books. Well, but we had these Christian organizations like Expo, Interhouses Fellowship and stuff. ICF. So we had some evangelizing, some music.
So you were a Christian then?
I am a Christian.
No, I mean, I'm saying that you were, at the time when you went to KNUST, okay, let me put you were a Krife already.
Yes, I'm a Krife already.
Yeah, and you entered KNUST with that.
Yes.
So that exposed you to lots of opportunities.
Yes, lots of opportunities to be playing around. So that was how come I met New Creation in Kumasi.
New Creation,
yes, I don't know where they are now.
Was huge at the time.
Yes.
I mean, they used to produce a lot of songs.
Yes, and I used to moonlight for them a lot.
For them
this is musical. And Sames, it wasn't easy going through that. At a point, my dean, Mr. Mate, the late Mr. Mate, may he rest in peace,